taking over the world, one nerd at a time. Total Nerd Takeover.
Hey, Chris Gray here with another video from TotalNerdTakeover.com. So now I am going to compare the iPad Air to the iPad 3rd Gen. Now this is my wife. It's actually my son's iPad 3rd Gen, really. And he's only 2, so figure that one out. Okay, your white border. And I'm glad that my wife has the white version because I think it'll help to distinguish the two different sizes. Now, the screen sizes are still the same, but the 9.7 inch. But as you can see, there is a difference in size here on the dimensions, physical size. There's a difference in the bezels. So it's a little bit shorter, and it's a little bit narrower. Wow, that's a pretty big difference in size here. So now I'll put the 3rd Gen here. And I'll put the iPad Air on top to give you an idea. I will hold it up, and you can see there's quite a difference in size here. So the difference in size can be almost measured by this whole bezel on the 3rd Gen iPad. This whole end here is how much they took off the around the whole sides. Let's take a look at the back. It's a nice Apple logo. iPad. Okay, now the back has more of a edged, like a clam edge around it. And the iPad Air is a little bit more squared. It's not square, but it still has a round edge, but it's a more square. And you can see here is the speaker. You might not be able to see that. That's the speaker on the iPad 3rd Gen. This is a 64 gig, by the way, just Wi-Fi only. And here are the speakers, if you can see that, on the iPad Air. Stereo speakers, even though you don't hold the iPad to your face this way. It would have been better, I think, to put a speaker here and maybe a speaker here or at the bottom. So when you're, me personally, I would have put them at the bottom so when you're cupping the iPad, it would help resonate the sound through the cups of your hands towards you. But that's just me. And there you go. And now here are the edges. It does have that chamfered edge, which I really like. It's hard to really get a good look at that in the video, but it does look nice the way they did that. It really gives it a nice trim. So let me see if I can show you now the thickness differences. I should have set this video up a little bit differently, but this is only my 2nd video, so please bear with me. I am learning. You can't really tell. But I will tell you this much. It is slightly slimmer. It's definitely a little bit thinner. And I like it. I like this new form factor. I almost don't think you need to get an iPad mini, because of the way they did the iPad Air. I'd rather have the bigger screen, but that's just me. And I really like the color too. That space gray looks really nice. And the silver look, the aluminum, brushed aluminum color, the silverish color looks nice too. But there's something about this gray, it looks really nice. They have identical cameras, as far as I know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're both 5 megapixel cameras. This had the A5X chip in it. And this one here has the A7 chip, which according to some of the websites I read, the benchmarking has been very, very impressive. And the graphics that's built into the A7 is also very impressive. So I hope that gives you guys an idea of which iPad, if you're ready to get rid of your iPad. Performance-wise, this iPad, the iPad Air, has been fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. The iPad 3rd Gen was good until iOS 7. It's still good, but it's a little bit sluggish. So there's my video review, the comparison rather, of the iPad Air against the iPad 3rd Gen. I'm Chris from Total Nerd Takeover Studios, and I'll see you guys again for another adventure.